mammals, it's Mad About Animals Max, your favorite animal welfare scientist, mythical creature, and spooky scary skeleton for Halloween, and I have with me a very spooky scary rat. Ooh, and ah. I have to sit down and stare at myself for a little bit to do makeup for a Halloween party, so I figured if I'm gonna do that, I might as well record myself doing that and hanging out with handsome Mr. Erwin. And I will tell you guys some fun, spooky, scary rat things, do some vegan, cruelty-free makeup, because again, why would anyone want to hurt this beautiful little face just to paint our faces for fun? We don't need to do that. I also don't know why I'm singing. I'm so sorry that I'm like this. For Erwin, the spookiest part of this Halloween is that I just woke him up, but we're gonna fix that. I mean, he's still gonna be awake, but he's gonna be awake and eating a piece of spiral pasta. There you go, go boy. So rats, pretty freaky, right guys? That's a pretty scary little dude that I just showed you. As always, I think I started to say this and then I got distracted by how cute Erwin is. Vegan makeup is not worse than any other kind of makeup. I am vegan. I am bad at makeup. This is because my hands tremor slightly. Like, someone else might be doing this with a brush, being a little more precise. So if my makeup is like blotchy, if it's smeared, it's not because of the product, it's because of user error. I almost said human error, but that would imply that I am human. Can you see this little face eating his little pasta in secret between two mushrooms? Just in case you were like, I mean, I know you were saying it ironically, but that rat was kind of scary. He was pretty big. What about Buttercup? She's so little. She's just a little girl with her little white paws. So dainty, so beautiful. And she loves pasta. So rats, as you can tell, not that spooky, not that scary, but people are afraid of them. And I understand that there are various reasons for that. And yes, historically, rats have been linked to the plague. I think most people by now know that whole thing about like, actually it wasn't the rats that were carrying the plague, it was the fleas. But in the defense of ye old-timey peoples, I actually think there's a whole thing about how ye wasn't a word and that was just a letter that is the symbol for TH. I'm not gonna fact check any of this. I'm just gonna post it on Halloween and we're gonna see what happens and how right or wrong I am. This is Stella. She's just so round. She didn't used to be round, and I took her to the vet recently to be like, is this rat too round? And the vet was like, no, she's a little round, but she's okay. She has that little heart on her butt. It's so cute. Yes, you may go to the desk village. So yeah, yeah, there you go. The fleas had the plague, not the rats, but the fleas are on the rats. So like, I get why it's like, yeah, rats spread the plague. Like, they kind of did. They didn't mean to, and it wasn't their fault. They were also victims of the plague. But like, you know, there was some culpability on the part of the rats, but not like, you know, not morally. They were just being rats. So I guess that's a spooky, scary rat fact. Some people get a little freaked out because they have orange teeth, and I will admit, that's kind of scary. Rat tails also freak people out, I think. Hello, Erwin. Hi, my handsome boy. This is a jumbo-sized rat, and here's his little tail. And I know the tails freak people out, but really they're just here to help him balance. So look, if he's on my shoulder and he wants to feel extra secure, he's gonna wrap that tail around me. It's just there to help them balance. It's not scary. All it is naked, but we're naked everywhere. Like, why are we judging rats for these beautiful bracelets that they give us? These wonderful, wonderful free accessories just because they're not furry when we're not furry either. Erwin, do you mind if I show everyone your orange teeth? Get ready. Boop. Oh, I'm not gonna do more than that because I don't wanna upset my baby boy. He's such a sweetheart, but there they were, the glimpse of spooky, scary orange teeth. I actually have a really cute picture of Buttercup yawning. There you go. That's what rat teeth look like. Ooh, very spooky, very scary. Here's the spookiest, scariest fact. Rats, this little animal, is not covered by the Animal Welfare Act. That means that she legally has no protections. The the way almost all other animals do. And that's so profoundly uncool. That applies to rats, mice, and also it did cover birds, but now it doesn't cover birds unless birds are specifically raised to be laboratory animals, in which case they are not protected under the Animal Welfare Act. And I just personally feel like that is profoundly uncool, because the Animal Welfare Act isn't saying that you can't experiment on animals. The Animal Welfare Act is only saying that there's certain measures you have to put in place, and it's really not anything crazy. In fact, it doesn't even go so far as to say like you have to give them pain meds if they are in pain. We don't know how often that doesn't happen for rats, because they being the USDA APHIS, who reports on experiments involving lab-used animals, don't even report on that, but because they're not covered. And if an animal isn't covered under the Animal Welfare Act, then you literally don't even need to tell anyone what you're doing with them. So let me grab some numbers for you. Let me grab some numbers. This nice little underglow I'm getting is from the laptop because I want to make sure I'm reading off these numbers exactly. I took these numbers from the USDA APHIS 2019 because that was the last time they did a single year. And I kind of did some very basic stats stuff to kind of make this a little easier to understand at a glance.
As I was recording this, instead of actually putting on my costume to go to the party, I actually listed out like all of these numbers, but in editing, I'm just going to put this graph up here and you can pause and look as closely as you want. Basically, it's a bar chart that's visually representing the proportion of each species of animals involved in painful experiments, receiving pain medications or not. The bars do not indicate the proportional number of each species used in comparison to other species, although those numbers are written on the individual bars. As you can see, the number of guinea pigs and hamsters in painful experiments not administered drugs for their pain is disproportionately high when compared to other animals. And note that the final column, all other covered species, does not include rats or mice because they are not covered.
We don't even have the numbers to talk about exactly what is going on in these situations because we're not legally required to. I don't know the exact numbers, but we know it's more than rabbits. We know it's more than guinea pigs. We know that rats and mice are being used in labs at higher rates than any other animals. So it's in the hundreds and hundreds of thousands, probably in the millions. And my guess is if 58% of hamsters in pain aren't being given any pain meds, then rats are probably being denied medication at an even higher rate. Rats and mice as well. And I think that's pretty spooky scary. Sweet little babies have been scientifically proven to exhibit altruism. So in scientific studies, and I talked about this a lot, as a like, hey, this is why it's cool that I have pet rat facts. Scientific studies showed that rats, when given a choice between getting a food reward or helping a rat in distress, chose to help a rat in distress, which is amazing. I never really thought about the fact because I was like, that's so cool that rats are one of few species scientifically proven to exhibit altruism. I never thought about the fact that if it's scientifically proven that rats will choose to help another rat in distress rather than choose a food reward, that means that scientists were choosing to put rats in distress in order to measure this. And then of course all of the rats were killed at the end of the experiment because that's how experiments usually go. So that's pretty spooky scary, and it's pretty spooky scary that I, as a rat lover, had never really critically thought about that. Look at this boy. This is a sweet boy. He's a very sweet, loving, wonderful little individual, and I would allegedly burn down Rome for him. He is so vulnerable under US laws. You should buy cosmetics not tested on animals. I feel like that's a really easy, like, base 101 kind of thing to do. Yup. This video just became about animal testing, didn't it? I didn't even finish my makeup. What a terrible, terrible Halloween video. Like and subscribe. You guys aren't going to be able to come out if you both try it once. You need to take turns. Okay, there we go.